Welcome to my top 10 list of foods that you need to eat when in Korea. Now, do note that all of these foods aren't necessarily my top 10 favorite Korean foods, but think of these as the 10 foods that I think you should try when in Korea because a lot of them are traditional or they're modern takes that have already become Korean classics. Also note that a lot of these foods I've chosen because you simply can't get them outside of Korea, or if you were to eat them outside Korea, it probably wouldn't be just as good. Now, before we get started, please subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with all things Korea, and also like the video, even if you disagree. Number 10, Chimek. Chimek is short for chicken and mekju, which actually translates to chicken and beer, usually fried chicken. It is the most popular thing to eat while at a baseball game, order for home delivery, and just eat and drink on a night out with a friend. You'll often see people eating chicken and beer in Korean dramas, which through product placement ads launched certain chains to international success. Most popular chimek places fry their chicken crispy, bone in, and then serve it with a sauce on the side, or they smother it for you. There are a few different sauces, but the most popular ones usually have a good balance of spicy, savory, and sweet. An order will usually be in the 20,000 won range for the chicken, with a pint of beer costing about 5,000 won. Number 9, Samgyetang. Samgyetang is among the most popular Korean dishes among Chinese visitors. Just ask the two groups of 4,000 Chinese tourists who sat in the rain to eat this Korean chicken soup back in 2016. This small hen is stuffed with glutinous rice, chestnut, dried date, garlic, and ginseng, and then boiled in water to create a light, starchy broth. The chicken is usually dipped in a bit of salt or a soy-based sauce. A bowl of samgyetang will usually cost anywhere from 12 to 18,000 won, and if there's a big lineup at a popular samgyetang restaurant in the summer, well, chances are it's either chobok, jungbok, or malbok, known as the 3 hottest days of summer. It seems crazy to be eating hot chicken soup on the hottest days of summer, but I guess you could say that Koreans like to fight fire with fire. Number 8, Naengmyun. Naengmyun is cold buckwheat noodles and generally comes in 2 choices: Bibimbap, or mixed with a spicy sweet sauce, or Naengmyun, which is served in a cold broth. Both are really popular summer dishes and are also often eaten as your starch after a meal at a Korean barbecue restaurant. Many foods in Korea have regional roots, and naengmyeon is actually a North Korean dish. Before eating naengmyeon, it's best to cut the noodles with a pair of scissors a few times as they do stick together otherwise. It's also a good idea to add about a tablespoon of vinegar and a wasabi-like mustard called gyoza to add flavor. About a toothpaste amount would be right. A bowl of naengmyeon is usually under 10,000 won, making this summer classic a bargain. Number 7, Bibimbap. Bibimbap is a dish every Korean has had at some point in their life, for many hundreds or perhaps even thousands of times. It's a balance of rice, a variety of vegetables, and meat with a chili paste sauce, and is about as iconic of a Korean dish as there is. Korean Air often gets rave reviews for their in-flight bibimbap meals, and bibimbap even made an appearance on MasterChef USA in Season 7. A bowl of bibimbap can often be found for around 5,000 won, although places that specialize in this cultural classic may charge double that. Also, try torsot bibimbap, which is next-level stuff. Bibimbap in a preheated stone bowl that crisps your rice and keeps your meal warm as you eat it. Number 6, Budae Jjigae. Kimchi jjigae is among the better-known Korean foods. Its cousin Budae Jjigae is like kimchi jjigae on steroids. Created during the Korean War, Budae basically means army unit or platoon, while Jjigae means stew. So the story goes that the Korean soldiers used what the American soldiers had for rations, like wieners, ham, spam, and beans, to create this Korean jambalaya, which also includes kimchi, ramen noodles, tofu, and rice cake. Sometimes even pepperoni and macaroni noodles, depending on where you go. A serving is usually around 8,000 won, and some places will have a two-order minimum. The heartiness of the stew with the nice balance of spicy, savory, and a touch of sour makes this army creation worth fighting for. Number 5. Kimchi Samgyupsal. Samgyupsal is Korean pork belly, basically bacon, but not smoked and usually cut a lot thicker. It is usually fried on a pan or a stone slab, the latter being my favorite. Even better with kimchi positioned just below the pork to put that excess fat to good use. Once well done, the strips are cut with a pair of scissors and then dipped in a sauce or salt and then usually eaten in a leaf with some kimchi and garlic and bean paste sauce. Some restaurants will charge an extra 2,000 or 3,000 won to fry rice on the stone after you've gorged on the pork. Always go for that if they offer it. And all of this will usually be under 20,000 won for a dinner for two. Number 4. Jjajangmyun. Jjajangmyun is actually a Chinese dish, but it's much more prevalent in Korea than it is in China or anywhere else for that matter. It's basically just egg noodles tossed in a black bean sauce, but it's oh so good. The garden variety is usually served with pork, but you can also find a seafood version at most places. If you don't like going out to eat, Jjajangmyeon is the most commonly delivered food in Korea, with a dish costing around 5,000 won, and that's including the delivery guy who doesn't even want your tip. Pay an extra 1,000 won and ask for the kanjajang, which is similar but served with meat, veggies, and sauce fried together and then served on the side. You can also ask for a kopbaegi, which is basically an extra large portion for an extra 1,000 or 2,000 won. Don't wear a white t-shirt when you slurp on this messy meal. Most places, you can even ask for an apron while you eat. Number 3, Dakgalbi. Dakgalbi is actually my favorite food in Korea, and if I ever left Korea, this would be my last dinner. Because not only is this pan-fried, spicy chicken amazingly delicious, it's also hard and perhaps even impossible to find outside of Korea. It is basically chicken, cabbage, onions, fried with a chili paste sauce, which is a little bit spicy, but also savory and slightly sweet. The places that serve it with perilla leaves, also known as 깻잎, are even better, and to blow you away, ask for Jjajangmyun noodles with it. The thing I love about these noodles is that they stick to the pan and turn rubbery for a really interesting texture that goes amazingly with the super flavorful chicken and cabbage. To cap things off, make sure you ask for fried rice once you're almost done. Just leave a little bit of the chicken and other things, which they'll then fry together with the rice for your starch, which is, more like a dessert. A dinner for two should set you back around 20,000 won at most places, and expect to be rejected if you're eating alone. Number 2, Korean barbecue. Korean barbecue is probably what you were expecting at number 1, right? And other than kimchi, it's probably the food that you would most commonly associate with Korean food. And for good reason, because it is ridiculously good almost any place you go to in Korea. The biggest options that you're going to have is beef or pork. beef being significantly more expensive. Korean beef, called Hanu, is the most expensive stuff and is definitely marbled much better if you're willing to pay for the right cut, upwards of 30,000 won for 200 grams of meat. But that will truly melt in your mouth like butter. You can also find American or Australian beef significantly cheaper at about half the price. When choosing a restaurant, try to find ones that use the real wood charcoal as opposed to gas or the chemical briquettes. Note that a double order is usually the minimum. Honorable mention: lamb skewers. Lamb skewers are, you could say, a newer cuisine over the last decade or so, and it's become very popular in Korea. As recent as 2010, it was next to impossible to find a lamb skewer restaurant unless you knew a place. Now they are everywhere, and for good reason. The lamb is seasoned with a Chinese dry rub that can be compared to a Cajun seasoning. And then these delectable sticks of meat are grilled over a tray of hot coals, nowadays with an automatic rotisserie. Great for Instagram. You can cook it to the doneness that you prefer and perhaps with a dip in a little more seasoning. Just 10,000 won for 10 skewers is the usual going rate, which is an absolute bargain, although some places will ask you to order 2 servings before wasting a tray of coal on you. And number 1, Jungshik. Jungshik is basically like a Korean course meal. Depending on where you go, it may come out in 5 or 6 courses of a few different dishes, or my favorites are the ones that have about 20 to 30 different dishes that just come out at once on a big table. Most Jungshik places will offer a few different selections, but they will have most of the same dishes, with a basic meal going for about 20,000 won on the low end of a reasonable place, while an average place will probably charge more like 50 to 100,000 won for a meal per head. What I love about Jungshik is that you get to try so many different dishes, and most places will let you get refills on your favorites, although some of the more expensive dishes may not be bottomless for free, especially the ones that are protein-based. Jungshik is also a meal that is usually not served for one. You can also find a cheaper version of Jungshik called a baekban, which will usually have one main dish with maybe 5 or 6 side dishes, and it'll be a lot cheaper at about 10,000 won instead. Obviously, there are so many other great Korean foods that I simply couldn't squeeze into this list, but I'll tell you, I am inspired to do another list in the future of more great Korean foods to try when in Korea, so look for that in the future. Make sure you're subscribed so you know exactly when I do post that video in the future. Also, please, if you feel that I've snubbed your favorite Korean cuisine, write that down in the comment section below so I know for that future video, as well as other people can see that and know other Korean foods to try when they visit as well. Thanks for watching, like the video, and we'll see you next time.